day. All right, let's get to Hurricane Ian, the 12 p.m. advisory here at a 155-mile-per-hour hurricane starting to make landfall. And remember, landfall is when officially the center of the eye moves over land, which will probably be in the next couple of hours. You can see the eye wall, the worst part of the hurricane, now moving into the Fort Myers area, Cape Coral, and up towards Port Charlotte. Surge has been coming up, and Naples, which is right here, reported a wind gust of 112 miles per hour just moments ago, and they're not even in the worst part of the storm. So winds are easily gusting upwards of nearly 200 miles an hour, especially right there near the sea surface and right along the beachfront. Just a catastrophic storm here. Expected to move inland slowly. It's only moving at 9. It'll continue to slow. And notice just southeast of Tampa later on this evening still is a major storm up towards Orlando by tonight. Hurricane hunters, they're flying through the core right now. I was just taking a peek at the data while I was running over here, and not sure they're finding the strongest part of the winds in the hurricane. It looks like the strongest part of the winds may be right over here, but they're sampling it, and we'll see what they find and see if it is continuing to strengthen. Yes, it could still make a run at a Cat 5, but either way, the impacts are not going to change at this point. There's the official track up towards Orlando by tonight to tomorrow, bringing heavy rain for them. Some gusty winds. It'll skirt the western coast of Florida up towards eastern coast of Florida up towards Jacksonville, and then make a secondary landfall somewhere near Savannah and Charleston by Friday as a tropical storm, bringing them some surge as well. Surge is a big story here. Everywhere you see in red could have inundation of 9 feet, at least 9 feet above the ground. So you're standing there on the ground, the water is going to be well over your head, and some locations could see upwards of 18 feet. I was talking about this earlier. The communities in here are interesting. You've got all these rivers and bayous, so it gets backed up in there just like it does here in its funnel. And that's why surge is so prominent. But some of these communities, and all right here, Cape Coral, this is a community that was interestingly built not very long ago, 60s, 70s, and a lot of the community has water running through the neighborhoods. It's got all these canals, so that only exacerbates the situation and the flood prone areas. So that's why this is such a serious situation for that region. Also, flooding rains. Beyond the surge, you've got flooding rain that could top 15 inches. It's a slow-moving hurricane here, and some guidance between Tampa and Orlando throwing out 15 to maybe even 20 inches of rainfall. So you've got the surge flooding, you've got the destructive winds, obviously, and you've got the flooding from the surge. Now, this is getting into that record territory. We're talking about one of the strongest storms to make landfall in the United States. It's going to be at least top 5. Ida and Laura, what we experienced last year, is in the top 5, 150. That was a Cat 4. There's never been a 155 landfall, so even if this does make landfall as a 155, it would still be in the top 5 here. We've only ever had 4 Category 4s or Category 5s make landfall in the mainland U.S. Labor Day hurricane in Florida and the Keys is the strongest. Camille is the second over in Mississippi. And Andrew and Michael, the more recent one in the Panhandle, is the last Cat 5. So it is rare to have a storm this strong making landfall in the mainland United States. It just happens to be 2 of those were in Louisiana over in 2020 and 2021. This year, it's going to be Florida as one of the strongest hurricanes to make landfall in the U.S. So thinking of our friends over there in Florida, they're certainly going to need the help over the coming months. And